Hello, it is Jen, not in her jammies again. Yeah, I was talking to a client last week who's been coming to class now for. Hang on, I'm going with this chair back. Squeaking and makes it sound like I'm farting. Yeah, I was talking to a client last night after our class who has been coming to class now for 2 weeks. She, up until coming to my classes, had mostly been doing lots of HIIT classes, loads of HIIT classes, lots of high intensity training, and something that I came to realise quite a few years ago now, and something that she had come to realise was that doing too much high intensity exercise is not so good for the system. So this particular individual has just recently been diagnosed with PCOS and hadn't had a period for 5 months. And after 2 weeks of adjusting her schedule and adjusting her exercise regime, so she's getting out more into nature and doing yoga and Pilates with me, she got periods, which there's lots of contributing factors that could be put in there, including getting a diagnosis, because that's a stress has been taken off. When you get a diagnosis of something, you think, thank God there's something wrong with me, but I'm not making it up in my head. I definitely felt that way when I first got diagnosed with Crohn's. But yeah, so there's nothing wrong with doing high intensity exercise as long as you are making sure that the rest of your life is as stress free as possible. So one way that I have explained it to people in the past is we have this baseline stress level, and we get up and life starts to come into play and our stress levels increase, sometimes to here, sometimes to here. And then we do high intensity exercise, and any kind of exercise puts stress into the body. So if that was your baseline and you're up here when you start your exercise, your stress levels then go up to here. So when you finish your exercise, if you're not properly recovering, you come down to here, and then life comes in again, and then your stress comes up to here. And then you maybe do something to help bring that down, and it maybe comes to here. So your baseline started down here, and maybe your new baseline somewhere up here. So then you go to sleep, and maybe your stress line comes down, and then you wake up in the morning and the new life hits you and you're here, and then you do your high intensity exercise and you end up here, and then you go up the ladder instead of being able to come back down to this baseline that is useful for you, baseline where you can heal, baseline where you can properly recover. Super important. I now have a wearable that tracks my heart rate variability, so that tells me through data when my body is fully rested and recovered, and I'm able to, with this information, because I chose not to listen to my body, I'm now recognising the signals much better now because I can see it visually with the data, and I'm also tuning into, right, okay, now I recognise how this really feels, so I know when I feel properly recovered and properly rested, especially if you're waking up in the morning and not feeling rested from your sleep. Even if you got a full solid 8 hours, you can still wake up like, oh my God. And if that's how you're waking up, then the quality of your sleep, even if you're getting the right quantity, the quality of your sleep has not been optimal. And sleep hygiene is something that I teach, and it's a whole module that we're going to teach in the Healing Rebel program. And you know, the information is out there, but sometimes you just need somebody and something to help hold you accountable. So what is your evening routine looking like? Are you switching off your screens if you have to use a screen up until closer going to bed? Are you wearing blue light glasses to help filter that out? Are you using blue light filters on your devices to eliminate some of that frequency that disrupts the melatonin, which is a hormone that kicks in when it's time to downregulate and go to sleep? You also need that hormone to be kicking in to help reduce inflammation in your body. So if you're getting to sleep, the melatonin is not sufficient, then you're not going to get the anti-inflammatory benefits of your sleep. Making sure that your room is appropriate temperature, appropriate darkness, as quiet as possible. All these things are so useful for your sleep hygiene, so that you get the appropriate rest, so that when you wake up the next day, your baseline stress levels are at a minimum, so that when you're dealing with life, you're dealing with it from a much better start point than if you're running in this hyper, because the buzz that you get off of doing high intensity work is it is a buzz. Like, you get the adrenaline. I used to teach spin classes first thing in the morning, and I'd go in and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so tired. Within 2 minutes of those tunes being on, getting on the bike, getting the pedals turning, and I was like, yeah, let's go. And then that was me on that high for a couple of hours until I hit the next class. And then it would repeat and repeat and repeat. So my stress levels were way up there. So I can take a breath now. Yeah, I think that's what I want to share with you today. Nothing profound. But if there's stuff going on in your body is wiser, way wiser than any brain, even the smartest brain in the world. Your body knows better. So we need to tune in, we need to listen, we need to really learn to listen, so that we can respond to it, and respond in the best ways possible. And that's where our education and that's where the knowledge is really useful, so we can use the science to help support these beautiful bodies that we have, until such time as we are ready to drop them. Have a beautiful day. If you want to know more about the Healing Rebel program, go to my website, iamjemmilson.com/Healing Rebel. If you book before the 31st of July, you're getting 50% off using the code REBEL50. So check that out too. Alright, have a good day. Stay in touch. Be kind to each other. Be curious. Love ya.